All right, well, hey, welcome back to Friday Night Preview with Coach Jordan. We're actually on a Friday this week, so it's great, and we're looking forward to the game this week. This week, the Gators take on the Aggies of Jackson. It's going to be at 7 o'clock here. You can get tickets cash at GoFan as well. And so, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the game. It's senior night, and so let's talk a little bit about the seniors as well.
Yeah, we got 12 seniors in all on our football team, and it's been a really good class. I've been with them 4 years myself, and as assistant coaches have been with them for 4 years, so we really appreciate everything they've done for our program. We have several of them that are, 3 and 4 year starters. A few of them have moved in this year. A few of them had decided to come out for football for the first time this year. We love them all, and we'll go through some of the names. We'll start with Seth Palmer, who has been our starting right tackle for the past 4 years. In the past two, he's taken on a strong role on the defensive line, has become a starter on the defensive line for us this year. And then you got Parker Sells, who's been the past 3 years, who's been our starting center, and we moved him to an H-back, like a tight end blocker this year, and he's played a lot of defense for us this year, and a very hard-working young man. You got Jordan Poe, who come out for football for the first time last year as a junior, and played in a backup role behind Zach Lamar last year. That's really come on very, very strong. As a senior, as a running back, and has a chance if we play well these next two games. Jackson and Chickasaw, he's got a chance to break the 1,000-yard mark as a rusher for the season. So that'd be huge for him. We got Braden Daniels, who moved in from Citronelle, for this year from us, and moved into Satsuma, and has done a tremendous job on the defensive side of the ball for us playing. And so, like, we've had, Micah Sullivan and Jesse Bird, who, Jesse Bird was injured at the beginning of the year in game one and is out for the year. But you're talking about a tremendous young man, and he still has offers to play college football, between Belhaven in Mississippi, Huntington College there in Montgomery, and Lyon College up in Arkansas. And so, Belhaven's one that's, gotten in touch with him here within the past month or so. So, he might be injured, but, his chances of playing at the next level have not disappeared. So proud of him. Micah Sullivan has been a great player for us, linebacker, and has played some Wildcat, goal line type quarterback, for us this year, and has done a tremendous job, and he's been banged up the past couple of weeks, and we're looking to see if we can get him back, before the season is done. And so we have a very, very strong senior class. Dylan Ladner, who's played for the past 3 years, has been a starter on the offensive line the past 2 years and played a lot of defense for us. A lot of guys that we think the world of, senior-wise, and so it's going to be, bittersweet, senior night to, shake their parents' hand, shake their hand as they cross the field and get called out, knowing that our time is short, basically, tonight's game and the next week's game, and, love those guys and appreciate everything they've done for us.
Well, tell us a little bit about tonight's game, what you're looking for, and what we got to do.
All right, so Jackson is ranked number 2 in the state. They're the defending state champions. They lost the first game of the year to Saraland. Their running back, who's committed to Alabama, was not able to play that game. And so that's their first loss of the year. And then their second loss was to St. Michael's, who we played earlier in the year and is in our region. And so, St. Michael's is number 1 in 4A, and you got Jackson is number 2 in 4A. And so that's their 2 losses. And besides those 2 games, they have put it on everybody they've played. And so even the teams that we've played that have had good nights against us, they put it on those teams too. Their quarterback is a senior who's a commit to the South Carolina Gamecocks. We already mentioned their running back is a senior. He's committed to the University of Alabama. They have a handful of other kids that are committed to other colleges, but the running back and the quarterback have been their most highly sought after and the most known of their recruits. They're defending state champions. The favorite. To win it again. And of course, I'm sure St. Michael's would have a lot to say with that. So it's going to be a tough task tonight against the Jackson Aggies. That's a football tradition-rich program, and it's a senior-laden team, as in they've had this group for the past 3 years. And those kids not only play football, they play basketball. So they're the 2-time defending state champions in basketball, and of course the 1-time in football. And so, this year they're going for a 3-peat in basketball and a repeat in football. And so, it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us tonight. And so, tonight is going to be a game where, we're going to play well and we're going to stay healthy. That's going to be the big thing tonight.
Well, as we're kind of concluding the season, and I didn't ask you this before, so I'm going to ask you, but is there a couple of things that just stand out about this season, a couple plays maybe that you remember that just like jumped out at you and was just great plays? So.
Really, our team, as I've said all year, is a very young team. And this week we've had some testing. And what I mean is like seniors took the work keys test. And so all seniors went and took that, and that helps them get a job if they want to, work different, factories and such that are around Mobile County. And so on Wednesday, our sophomores went and took the pre-ACT, and which is a big test. It has a lot to say in how our school's graded, as a school, and also prepares them individually for the ACT when they take it in the future. But and so every sophomore in our school was taking that test. And so first period football, you're talking about the majority of our team was taking a test and not in first period football. So we're a young football team, and really some plays that and some things that have really stuck out to me. Jordan Poe really come on strong against St. Michael. That was a really good football team. We played that night, and we were searching for an identity, and he really stepped up along with the offensive line and really, helped us establish, hey, we can run the football with Jordan. Another thing that's really stuck out to us this year has been the Wildcat package with Micah Sullivan. It's been really good. The Thursday night game against Orange Beach, when we really needed a big play, we called the Wildcat package, and Micah broke for about 35 yards and got us on the board and gave us a little bit of success so our guys could feel better about themselves. And so that's been a big thing. Really things that stick out to me is we scheduled 7 JV games, and we played 6 of those. The 7th one we didn't due to the field conditions at the visiting place, not being suited to be able to play. Like it was bad conditions, and of course we had our stadium rented out to the youth football, so we weren't able to switch it to here. But what I'm getting at is you have a ton of young players that have got a ton of reps, whether it be middle school football or whether it be junior varsity football. We had 35 kids in our middle school program that finished 4-2 this year. We were the league runner-up, behind Mobile Christian. This year we had a small informal banquet for them Tuesday afternoon right after school. We fed them some pulled pork and some macaroni and some bread, and you had some food, and we gave them certificates, and we had a plaque that we're going to put in the trophy case there in the front of the school. And we're really proud of not only the numbers of players that we have in our middle school program, but the way they played. And Coach Prater, Thad Prater, Coach Chris Cotrette, and Thomas James did a tremendous job with those guys. And the thing that really I was proud of more than just winning the games and having some success in the middle school is that we were able to include them on our Thursday afternoon team feeds when we had it. And so the times we had team feeds, that when the middle school season was still in, you had right at 95 football players in there eating a team meal right after school. And we had speakers come in and give like a little 15-minute little speech, and it was like from 7th all the way through 12th grade. You had guys that were getting thoughts and emotions and poured into them by other folks, and getting good meal, and had some camaraderie. And it's like this. Our junior varsity program hasn't had the success that our middle school program has, but we're getting reps, and the only way to get better at something is to do it. And so it's not like we're not playing the game. We are. It's just we're a really young football team, and you think about this. Our opponents have been really, really good. Going into tonight, our opponent records, if you add it up, of all the teams that we play, are 51-34. So, and if you look at the other teams in our region, their opponent records are right at 500 or just below. So we've caught Cottage Hill on an up year, meaning they are senior loaded with some Division I talent, and the same thing with Mobile Christian. There's some Division I talent. W.S. Neal, those two teams, W.S. Neal and Mobile Christian, are secretly top 10 teams. They're just not in the top 10 right now, but they really are. And so our region is going to pair up with Region 2, which is the Wiregrass, and the Wiregrass is going to have a tough time before Region 1, because there's some really good football teams in our area and in our region. And so those are some of the things that really stuck out. Is just the camaraderie of the guys. You know, we all get along. You know, I'm in that locker room all the time, whether it be before practice or after, and we're one big family and love one another. So that's really the biggest thing that stuck out this year by us.
Those are great things. Hey, tell us about next week. We play Chickasaw,
Yeah.
and there's been a change. So.
Yeah, and in Chickasaw, we're going to be playing them on Thursday of next week, and so that's a change in date. So we'll play Chickasaw varsity football Thursday, October the 30th, and that's going to be at Chickasaw. And so, basically, we're not going to play on Halloween night. And so, basically, mark your calendars, change your calendars, and get ready for a Thursday night football game next week. Rival game, Battle of Highway 43, Thursday night, October the 30th at Chickasaw.
Well, we're looking forward to tonight's game. So you come out 7 o'clock, cash or GoFan. You can do that, $12. And so come out and support your Gators tonight. Hey guys, my name's Brent and I'm the pastor here at First Baptist Church of Satsuma. I just wanted to take a second and invite you to worship with us this Sunday at 10:45. We meet at 5600 Old Highway 43, and we'd love for you to come and be a part this Sunday and worship with us. If you're looking for a perfect church, we're not it. We're messy people who love Jesus, who love each other, and love this community. And we'd love for you to be a part of all the exciting things going on here. Hope to see you this Sunday. Have a great week.